Good morning, welcome back to our shop just outside Kennesaw here in North Georgia for part 6 of the restoration of this Singer sewing machine. Today we're going to try to get the base painted. I will show you what I've done so far right now. Okay, I'll take you outside. I've got 2 tables set up with all the cast iron parts laid out on it prior to painting. I took some time this morning and cleaned up the wheels and inside the wheel wells. They're pretty rusty, so after I got them nice and smooth, I shot them with some rust primer just to be careful. Now the next thing I'm doing is, with a toothbrush and some mineral spirits, getting into all the nooks and crannies to make sure that we've got any oils or dirt out and off the cast iron before we paint it. And the other thing that you can do is if you find a little piece of paint you missed, just take a straight razor and scrape it off. So that's the final preparations before I paint. So let me finish what I'm doing here with my little toothbrush and mineral spirits, and I'll bring you back. We'll start to put some paint on this base. Okay, I've got the gun loaded with a commercial metal paint in semi-gloss black, and I will get started painting the one side of this base right now. And a couple of tips if you're doing this at home. When you're shooting black on a dark color, you're bound to miss a spot now and again. Don't worry about it. Get your coat on, let it dry, and then you can pick it up and look at it and see where you missed. What I tend to do with these Singers is I'll shoot one side, and then I'll pick it up, turn it over, shoot the other side, and then when it's dry, I'll pick it up and hold it in my hand with the gun on the other, and just touch things up, because it is really tough to get perfect coverage the first time. And remember, you want to shoot in at angles. Let me see if I can show you. Shoot your paint in at angles to get in these inner curves. Spend some time, make sure you get real good coverage on the Singer emblems. We're going to let this paint harden up. We'll flip these over in an hour or two and get the other side, and by the end of the day we should have these painted. Now if you look, this is one of the hinges, and this is kind of representative of what all the hardware looks like. It's rusted and it looks terrible. If we put this on a refinished piece, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Focused in the background is a wire wheel on a grinder, and what I do you can see how that wire wheel takes off all that rust. I'll do this to all the hardware and all the screws, and I'll bring you back. And we're moving right along. I've got all the hardware wire brushed off. Then what I do is I just take it and put it on a cardboard box. I punch little holes for the screws so they don't blow off. And then this is what I use when I spray paint everything. I'll spray paint all of it, then I'll flip over the flat parts when they dry, spray paint them again, and pull them out, and we'll be done. So it's a handy way of holding your screws and stuff. All right, let me get this spray painted. And here's what it looks like when everything has been painted. We'll just let it set up, flip the hinges over, put a coat on the back, and then touch up whatever needs to be touched up. But that's how I do it. Well, here's all the cast iron pieces. That's part of the spring assembly. There's the dress guard. Got one of the legs. There's the belt guide, flywheel assembly, main cross piece. And we even painted the spring hardware, and the spring tension knob. And I almost forgot to give myself credit for this too. Here's all the hardware painted up and ready to go back on. Good morning. We're going to finish the base this morning, assemble it, and move it out of the shop so I've got room to take care of the wood refinishing, which will be the next step. The owner has asked me to do the trim on this base in gold. Some of the Singer machines came with gold trim on them. The Singer emblems on the leg as well as the word Singer were highlighted in gold. What I like to use for this is a product called Rub and Buff. It's a wax-based metal flake compound. I think it looks much, much better than gold paint. It kind of gives you an antique-y look and allows you a lot of control when you put it on. What I do is just squirt some of it into this little glass container, and then I use either a paintbrush or a Q-tip to put it on. And if you make a mistake, it'll come off with mineral spirits. So this is how I do it, and hopefully you'll be able to see without me getting in the way. And just try to stay right on the flats of the lettering. You can also put this on with your fingertip, and I've done that in the past as well. And that's how we do it. All right, I will bring you back when I start to work on one of the emblems. Try to give you a close-up of how that Rub and Buff allows just a little bit of that black color to come through. Gives it a nice antique look. It's not too glossy, and it really doesn't look like paint. And that's the emblem without the gold trim, and that's the emblem with. I hope you like it. I think it's a nice touch. Some of the machines did come with this. I can't tell you which ones did or what prompted Singer to put them on some and put them on others, but that's the way they look. One more to do. And here it is all finished up. We've got that emblem done, that emblem done, and the Singer done. I think they look great. Try to zoom in here. You can see how that Rub and Buff allows just a little bit of the underneath finish to shine through, or to show through rather. Gives it a real nice antique look. Of course, if you want it to be solid gold, just put more on. But that's not the look we were going for. I think they look good. Let's move forward. Okay, listen, I think the base is ready to put back together. The gold trim is on it, and I want to thank my viewer Sharon Martin for her help in researching exactly what got the gold trim. So Sharon, thank you. When we reassemble this, I'm going to try to get you some close-ups as I do it, but I want you to take note of the finish that's now on these cast iron pieces. And if you've got time, go back to the first video in this series, number 1, towards the end when I break this same cast iron assembly apart, and look at the condition it was in. Look past rust and look at the chipped and missing paint. And you'll understand that the only way we can get a finish that looks like the one we have now is to take all of that off. Could I have sandblasted it? Sure, I talked about that in the video. I don't have access to that equipment. But that stuff, in my opinion, has to come off, or your job is going to look like rubbish when you're done. There is nothing, in my opinion, that you can spray over peeling, chipped, and missing paint to make it look good. That's why we did what we do, and that's the way we do things here at Lost Mountain. So anyways, it's time to put this base together, so here we go. Let's put this together.
And here she is all done. No apologies whatsoever. I think she looks absolutely beautiful. The finish is outstanding. The gold trim looks great. Everything's back where it belongs. I couldn't ask for a better result. So this is why we do what we do here and put all the extra effort in, because when you do, you get results like this. From our shop just outside Kennesaw here in North Georgia. Best regards, thanks for watching, take good care, and remember, it's just wood, color, some shiny stuff, sometimes some cast iron, sometimes some gold flake paint. Take care, we'll see you next video. Bye.